Context switching is a really, really hard thing.
The AI is still missing taste.
You are a maker now than a crafter.
We might have AI overloads soon. Hello everyone, welcome to the second episode of the Dev Room. My name is Randike and today we are joined by another co-founder, Janindu, who is in charge of design at Corzent. And we also have Kavishma, who is a co-founder at Kiwi Money. Welcome to the podcast. Okay, so just to start off, Kavishma, what does an average day look like to you as a new co-founder and the head of UI UX at Kiwi Money?
Well, yeah, it's actually quite a lot of things. I mean, because it's like we're a small team, there's like so much that happens on a day-to-day basis. But ideally, it's mostly just waking up and replying to all the custom emails and whatnot and all the support tickets. That's typically what we do in the morning. So we've allocated for that. And then the rest of the day is just going about all the marketing and design work that we do on the product. So that's kind of what a typical day looks like. Nothing too exciting. It's just the boring stuff that keeps happening. It doesn't sound that boring. It sounds like a lot more work than what was there. Just UI UX. There's a lot more that you're doing now, is it? Yeah, there's quite a bit. What takes up the most of it? I would say so. Right now, I'm more into the marketing side of things than the product stuff. So it's a lot of my effort goes into figuring out how do we run ads and how do we manage our socials. Then on top of that, I have to do a lot of filming for social media. Nice. Yeah, content creation and things like that. So yeah, that's kind of where majority of my effort goes to these days. Yeah. Sounds fun. Janindu, what does your day look like?
Yeah, I should say welcome to the club. Yeah, it's pretty much everything, I guess. Design and whatnot. I usually have a lot of mentoring to do as well to my members on the team, and then of course, this AI is in the line. So we are experimenting stuff. That is pretty much the day goes as it is, like wise, and then. Since after taking up this particular positions, not only UI UX, there's some admin stuff and management stuff has to do as well. So that's my pretty much the day would look like. So yeah, similar experience, I would say.
So, but what's the most annoying part?
To be honest, I guess switching up the tasks. Switching up the context switching is a really, really hard thing, and it takes up a lot of your brain power. And yeah, and at the end of the day, that is what it makes you tired a lot, I would say.
Yes, takes a lot of time to switch.
Yeah, it is indeed.
Okay, so then let's move on to the next part, I think. So now you have moved from working with other clients to working on something that you're building on your own. Do you have a personal anecdote or something where you have had to push back on what a client has said? Any requirement that they've had that you might have had to say, you're not.
This is my time at Corzent.
At Corzent.
Pretty much all the time, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it happens quite a lot. But then, I mean, that's kind of the beauty of work. At least that's what I've seen at Corzent is the best part is like actually getting to work with the clients that they have. So thankfully the client that I was a part of, the project that I was a part of, they were very open-minded and, they were able to take that kind of criticism. So yeah, we do push back a lot. I think that's how great products are built. You do have to go back and forth, and that's something I enjoyed doing specifically with that client. So yeah, I think like today it's a lot different because now you're dealing with customers, like direct consumers of your product, which is something else entirely. But yeah, that's I guess it's kind of in the similar spectrum, I would say. Yeah.
But then for customers, do you push back?
Yeah, we have to. I mean,
they'll want... It's the same, right?
Yeah, they'll want 10 billion things. I think clients, it's also the same thing, right? So you have to learn to say no, or you have to kind of assess the situation and be like, okay, this is the best way to approach it.
Okay.
What's best for business? Yeah.
So that is more of a people relationship sort of thing. But if I can ask, is there a specific design challenge that you had to face in UI UX that you found somewhat difficult? Just an example. If you can think of something, maybe it's just a dashboard. If you have an example of some thing that you were building that where it was difficult for you to decide what to put where. I'm not a UI guy, as you can see. Okay, but you have anything specific in terms of a technical, from a technical standpoint, that was difficult, especially before AI was there.
For me, it was handling the communication between dev and the UX person, the handoff. That entire process is actually, it was very hard because the communication, I would say. Handling the communication part, like, I mean, just like as you said, we had to put stuff, and then we put some controller there. Then the dev guy comes in and say, okay, this is not possible, and then, I mean, they will come up with the technical hurdles that they have, and so that is when it becomes difficult. So we need to manage that bridge between the usability and the technology as well. So that is something I think we've both gone through that phase a lot. We've come up with solutions, what's or not as well. But yeah, for me that was some sort of a, I won't say it's very hard, but it is a daily struggle normally, because that is basically managing the communication in between two people or multiple people, and then also we need to take the user side plus the technology side as well when it comes to that.
Then again, that's the whole point, right? You have someone who is very, very basically an expert in what it should look like to the user, and then you have someone who is more technical and gets it to work. The reason why you have those two people is so that you can have that argument and debate and get the best outcome.
I think handoff is, I like really agree with that, because there's a lot that happens in handoff that it's not just like even talking to the devs. There's some things that we might have overlooked. Like sometimes like we have to go back and forth with the client and figure those things
Quite
out.
A lot of time.
Yeah. So I'd say like from my end, I think there was a lot to do with figuring out those corner cases and edge cases.
Yes.
Prior to AI, that was like a little bit of a
Nightmare, I would say.
nightmare, yeah. So when you're building something, you need to know, okay, what happens if the user takes this path or this path? What happens if things go wrong? So with AI now, it's a lot easier because you can just, put all of that in and kind of get all the edge cases and corner cases and think it through at least. Back then, it was like constantly just going back and forth and trying to figure that out. So I'd say that was also kind of in that handoff challenge as well. Yeah.
Okay. So if I can ask, what sort of a workflow do you follow? How much do you have to really understand? How much time do you spend generally? This is just not in your case because you're building it right now. You're getting feedback as I think a much longer cycle. Yeah. But with a client, let's say you're designing something. How long does it take to go from discussing to prototype? Like let's compare before and now. Let's just compare before AI. How long did it take? What was the process? How much did you have to really understand? How much of an in-depth, nuanced understanding did you need before you could just put in the first square on Figma or whatever? So,
well, that was. I mean, before I would say really, it would take for us with the process. I think we marked it as a 5 days or something like that. Around that, before we even touch Pixel. So I think we start off with a couple of rounds of discussions with the client and the stakeholders, means the devs inside and then the devs here at Corzent as well. And then we study through the support cases and everything like that. So before even touching up a Pixel, we've spent around that research time and going on meetings, and then settling up. I mean, leveling up with everyone. Okay, this is this particular requirement, and then to understand quite the scenario. Basically, if in terms of AI, I mean, context, understanding the context was, we've taken some couple of time, maybe 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
That is just the discussion before you.
Yeah,
get to
that
join.
was before discussion, because now see, while that is being done, we've been doing some of the prototyping and stuff like that, or maybe like here and there sketches and stuff like that, but properly touching up a concept design, this is not the final design as well. So we took quite a long time, I would say.
Okay. So then let's move on to what AI has done.
Yeah.
How has it sped up? Can we just walk through the full workflow now with AI? We go. I'll get to yours.
Yeah.
Because that's a completely different thing probably.
No, actually, he had the best experience there, because when we introduced this 5 days kind of a discovery stage, and then the AI transition was happening, he was there with that particular project. I think he was running out that particular difference. So I think you have that experience. So
Yeah,
what was that experience that you had, like that? I mean, the reduction of the time, how that happened? Because I can remember right after couple of discussions, like a couple of days or maybe 1 day, we were able to come up with the prototype itself after the IH. So
Yeah,
how
for
was
sure.
that? How was your experience on that?
I think something we deliberately didn't do is involving people when it comes to discussions, like when it comes to like ideation and all of that, right? So we had a UX team inside Corzent. We still do. So we always make sure that we take them when we're kind of ideating solutions and brainstorming and things like that, because that's always better than just giving it to the AI and being like, okay, just figure it out, right? But one thing that really helped in that was prototyping. I think that coming up with wireframes and being able to show the client in a day that this is how potentially your solution could look like that was like a blessing. Because that would sometimes take us like 3 days max, maybe.
Yeah,
to
with
come up
with the integration of the design system itself,
Yeah.
I think we took a couple of days, because the main challenge when you have properly built product, and when you put some sketches in front of your, low fidelity sketches in front of your client, they confuse that this is, you have done something and then this is something else. So that's when we have to do the prototyping itself with the design system. So now that took quite a lot of time, and customers was worried as well. But that this is before AI.
Okay. Yeah.
Now with the AI transitioning period, we were able to get the design system itself and then produce that particular prototype. Not kind of a very low fidelity one. We were able to produce the high fidelity one. So that was a huge transition for us.
Okay, so after that, all this happened with AI.
Yeah.
What is still the bottleneck? What do you think now takes the longest time? It's probably just the discussion with the client, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Now, what takes the longest is probably I still think, at least in my opinion, I think discovery still takes a little bit of time. Like knowing the problem, figuring out a solution for it, and then kind of having those conversations to figure out, okay, this is the best way to go about solving it. Whereas the execution has become a lot faster.
Yes.
Because if you know what you have to build, then it's pretty easy for AI to kind of come in and say, okay, listen, I've built what you kind of described to me. Here it is. You can go and show it to the client. So I think that part is still there. And I'm a strong believer that that's not something that you should fully hand off to AI either. It's just for the sake of, making things faster.
Discovery.
Right? Yeah, discovery. Yeah. Because that, I still think that kind of is where designers shine when it comes to this AI age. That's where, like, as a designer, you should kind of
Absolutely.
be at. Yeah.
Yeah. This is what happens when I try to make UI.
Okay.
It ends up looking a bit sloppy, right?
It's actually not about only the UI. I would say, I think we are thinking in terms of product, right? So when a dev does it and a UX person does it. The difference is they put on these aesthetics as well, usability into the account as well. So if you build, I mean, a dev person build a modal window, a simple example, you might forget to put up a prompt saying it should work in the accessibility and the usability terms as well, like just as simple as putting the escape button, I mean, working for the escape button to close that particular modal window. So you might miss that sometimes. But a UX person is thinking in terms of the journey and the UI and the interaction, the conversation you build with the interface. That is the difference I see when a prompt, the dev prompted the product versus a UX person prompted product.
So me as a dev, okay,
Yeah.
if I go to build something and I offer,
You're not offended, I guess.
I'm a
Yes.
little offended.
Yes.
I'm a little offended, but what can I say anyway? If I, as a dev, try to offload this thinking that we're talking about,
Yeah.
this knowledge, and I give it to the AI, it sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I think the AI is still missing taste.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think that is what is really not going to come through. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that at any point in the future, do you think that these models are going to develop and grow to a point where you can just offload taste also?
Questionable.
Yeah, that's I'm on the fence on I'm 50-50 on it. But I strongly agree with the point that it lacks taste now because right now everything is like super generalized and sloppy, right? But I do think it'll get to a point. I think with enough context, like at least what I've seen is like, so what we have done is we have like our design system, and then we get Claude Code to kind of stick to that design system and come up with interfaces. So with a little bit of control and rules, it's able to kind of stay in line, right? So right now that's what's required. Whereas if you ask it to kind of freeball it, then it's going to mess up, right?
Yeah.
So that I think is like years down the line, like kind of building that taste and whatnot. Yeah, but like to add to what Janindu said about this kind of the dev and design kind of disparity, right? I think with the age of AI, I feel like a lot of people are kind of merging those two roles. I feel like designers are now thinking from a more engineering perspective sometimes, and then engineers are forced to think from a design perspective. So it's kind of merging this kind of these two roles together and kind of creating this super role. I think that's what
Finding the balance
yeah,
in terms of
finding balance.
Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Star Wars terms. But I think the question I had was like with this natural language stuff, is it possible? I mean, to have that taste because it won't be predicting that, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. So
If you, I mean, unless if you have given that rule or instruction.
no, so any model
Yeah.
is basically an averaging machine. It'll give you the average of all its training data, right? So it'll always try to come to the best average of what you're asking for.
That's all.
It's never going to have what you have in your mind because as humans, I don't think we are going to ever regress to the mean. We are going to have our own, our own tastes and whatnot. What people like quirky stuff. Sometimes funny stuff is better than serious stuff, even in serious cases. But yeah, so that's I don't think will be offloaded. So, Kavishma, when you are now designing and working for your own clients, consumers, the cycle is obviously, like I said, it's a bit longer.
Yeah.
How do you get feedback and how do you use that to improve your UI UX and what? Just take me through the new flow that you have.
I think there's two levels to it now, which is whereas before, like you kind of talk to the client and kind of figure out what to do now. Here, it's the same thing when it comes to customers. Like customers will say 10 billion things that they want us to build inside the app. One thing we definitely do is, yes, we do talk to customers. Like every week we talk to as much customers as possible to get feedback on how the app is working and things like that. outside of that feedback, we also measure everything inside the app. So we have a lot of data in terms of how people use the app, which helps us to improve the app. So if a customer says, listen, I want you to build X, okay, great. Let's see how let's first wait and see, okay, do 50 other customers want the same thing? If so, okay, how do we go about it? Then we look at the data and we're like, okay, this is how customers use the app, and it makes sense to introduce it. So there's two layers to it than just listening to a customer and being like, okay, great, let's go and build it. So yeah, it's always like measurable and kind of getting that feedback.
Good. So you measure, you collect, you choose the most important, and then you
Correct. Yeah.
And that's also, when you're building it, you follow the same sort of workflow where you have AI build a prototype or something on Figma, or I don't know, a demo app for yourself, and you test it out and then you put it in, or
Yeah, so I think in terms of ideation, that's what happens. But right now, we've actually done this thing where I'm actually not touching Figma anymore.
Yeah.
We kind of offloaded that, not entirely to the AI, at least AI is taking care of the interfaces and whatnot. So I'm there as a consultant to come and say, okay, this doesn't look right. This needs to get, this needs some improvement. So that's what happens on kind of a production level. But in terms of ideation, that's something I do every day. It's like, okay, if a customer wants this, okay, let's see how this can play out. Let's build a quick prototype and see if this is what they want. Yeah.
have you just to dig into that a little bit more?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have a specific example? Is there a one case where AI has choked but you haven't?
AI has choked, but I mean, plenty of times.
Yeah.
It's always choking.
Always,
It's always. It's like you said. It lacks taste.
Yeah.
So it tends to go with this very standard sloppy approach. And I do think design is a very subjective thing. It comes from a person, right? Like
The AI is very conservative,
Yeah.
I guess, in terms of prompting the output.
I think that's something you might have noticed as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Working with AI.
Quite a lot of time.
Yeah.
This is why I don't like about it as well.
It is frustrating, like
is
when you have to continuously tell it, okay, this is not what I had in my mind. So then there's a lot of time that goes into kind of perfecting this thing and kind of telling it this is how it should work.
But the rules and all that now guide it.
Oh yeah, that makes that effort a lot like less, I would say, because it's sticking to those rules. We don't have to go and say, okay, this button looks weird. Why aren't you following, what's on the design? Why aren't you following what's on the code? Because
And then it sometimes does not continue it.
yeah,
Then it breaks your heart.
it breaks your heart.
Okay.
You
I think
feel
this
like
is
you're
something,
misunderstood.
This is actually something I learned from Janindu in terms of working with AI, which is to have systems in place. If you have systems in place, it's very easy to get the job done. So I think you shared this with me on WhatsApp like one day, the GitHub repo. Yeah. So that's what we actually
That was
follow.
a kind of framework. I can't
It's
remember
kind of
that.
like a framework.
Yeah.
It's basically like it's basically a set of rules.
Okay.
It's like a skill set, basically. It's MD5,
Yeah.
the skill set. What it does is it always checks the design system, and then only it goes and kind of implements what we tell it to implement. So it never goes out of bounds.
Okay.
So we have put it on a leash, essentially.
So it's like you check the design system, implement it, and then again re-verify it. Kind of a test-driven kind of a.
You tune the
Workflow.
skill, is it?
Yes.
You-
I would say.
Yeah. I'd say you limit its thinking.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
okay. So I was talking from my experience.
Yeah. That was a bit of a jargon, I would say.
Okay, sorry, yeah. So at least for when I do backend stuff, okay, I have my set of skills, like basically rules and workflows for Claude to follow. It's a little easier with code because there's no taste. It's all dry and manufactured, but you still have to be very careful because it overcooks or undercooks, like I said last time. But so I'm asking, do you tune those set of instructions, or is it something static? Does that change as time goes on? I think it must.
It definitely changes.
Yeah, it changes normally. I mean, doesn't mean it's static, but we need to keep on upgrading it as well. Yeah, that's how it is.
Okay. So can I ask,
We can't remember the name, right? I mean, that was a pretty. There was a nice name for
It's
it.
a nice name for it. Yeah.
Okay, so just to wrap up, anything that I spoke to you a lot, so Janindu, anything that you're excited about for the future, anything that you're working on right now inside Corzent that might have a lot of benefit in the future?
Yeah, I think what is interesting is always now is I think this is what I always wanted as well. Giving a, I mean, producing a app for myself itself. So now the UX role has changed into that. Now you have to. I mean, you can't. I mean, as I can agree with you as well because we don't go to Figma now. Of course, Claude is visiting the Figma and doing the design, but then we have to produce the product, the real product. So this is for me. This was kind of the need I always had, and that is actually making the way that I see the product as well, the way I want as well. Earlier, I think we were not able to iterate a lot in terms of this particular real world simulation. I would say simulation or a produced output. So now we can do this, and it is exciting for me personally because these days I'm working on a newly assigned task for me that is actually compliance. So I know the domain knowledge, I know the requirement, and it's like a song produced by myself and sung by myself as well. but then after producing the application itself, now I can make sure all are in the same level of understanding in terms of what the stakeholders of the compliance needs as a product.
Okay.
I mean, when it comes to stakeholders, the entire company is a stakeholder in terms of that particular product.
Yeah.
And while earlier, before AI, if I had do this exact thing, I would stick with Figma and then give an output for the prototype. Then the entire user base won't feel it using it real time. Now I can produce it. It just, even without going into Figma, we can produce it. That is pretty exciting for me actually. So you are a maker now than a crafter,
Okay.
right? That is that was a complete workflow change and also a change of the way that you work. Yeah, I mean, your work was done.
Okay.
That was it basically for me.
Okay. AI then must beyond even the customers, you probably are the other stakeholders. This should also probably be reducing the dissonance between the designer and the devs also.
Pretty much because now see, earlier a simple task like choosing the calendar input. I think we've been having this discussion when we were in a particular customer project. What to choose was the fight we always had. Now, since we know the library, the framework that we have, it's just giving it a rule set as, okay, stick with this and you stick with this library, find out solution from this library and produce me this particular UI. So that means that particular gap is gone and developers are also happy because it is something you use from the design system itself and the UI library itself, the dev library itself. So I don't have to think through those things. It just a rule set will drive that. And it's the only thing I need to be and think through is the creativity. I can be very much creative with this particular workflow now.
Okay.
It's not. I mean, earlier we've been very much. I mean, all the constraints were pretty much stopping us from. It was a barrier for us.
Yeah.
Now the rule set is there. I mean, the dev. I think I asked the rule set the dev want. That was an MD file. And what I did was just whatever the look and feel I wanted was the look and feel.
Okay.
I didn't want to think through the specifics, the technology of it, nothing. Just producing the particular product. It was about that. I think it should have been like that even before as well, but yeah.
Interesting.
I just asked the same question basically. Anything that you are excited for? It doesn't have to be AI because I believe that there's some overlap also with what he said. We talk about how excited you are for how UI, AI is changing UI. or
You are
anything-
changing it.
or UI changing.
I mean, yeah, I'm actually because again, like I said, like in the beginning, like these days I'm overseeing less of the product side of things, and I'm more diving into the marketing aspect of it. So it's like a fun thing to kind of test out and see how much of marketing can we kind of like how much can we dive into with AI, right? These days we're looking at content creation, like ads, for example. It's more or less distribution and acquisition. Like how can we kind of integrate AI to kind of tackle that challenge? So that has been very interesting for us. And that's something that I look forward to. Even with the stuff like creating those graphics, illustrations, that's something that I enjoyed doing. So it's like a new kind of field that I'm thrown into and I'm forced to kind of learn and figure things out. So I think that's quite exciting.
Yeah, so the exciting thing I have is now with the AI is basically you can become everything as well, because this is our I can remember how designer brain works normally. I think we always want to become this particular, become everything, right? You need to become the dev, you need to become the artist and everything. So now I always wanted to build illustrations, vector illustrations. So now when I need isometric designs, I can build it. Just that is fascinating for me, that you can become anyone now.
Interesting. I actually have a question for you, Janindu. Like this is mainly from a founder perspective, right? So I think with the age of AI, I feel like it has given smaller companies a fair shot to compete. So for example, if you take Kiwi Money, we're like a 2-man team, right? So AI has actually given us a fair shot at competing with those other startups that are well funded, has big teams and things like that. So that's why we kind of rely a lot on AI to kind of get the grunt work done. But I still believe as a founder, like let's say for example, we need to hire a video editor as talented as Buddhi, or as a creative designer talented as Akila or Sandun, right? I would still go out of my way to get those guys in. I would still go out of my way to hire those roles than to say, okay, I'm not going to hire anyone because AI has taken that kind of care for me, right? So I'm curious to know, how do you guys tackle that? Because I know culture is like a very important part at Corzent.
Yeah.
So how do you guys tackle this AI, human, that kind of relationships in terms of not only just hiring, but just as a company as a whole when it comes to culture? Is something that I'm kind of curious about.
We still have not. We have not 100% relied on technology itself, because I believed in craftsmanship a lot. In terms of designing, it has to be. You have to have the craftsmanship.
Taste.
It's basically taste. So that is why that part we have been always hiring. That team is basically human. And we think it as the AI as a helper to expand their capacity only. So, as a founder, if I share you the experience, I would still hire that particular person, because that craftsmanship is required when it comes to producing a good content. I think that's the secret sauce anyway. So it just, the attitude that we need to have is we need to equip them with the right tools.
Right.
And the AI, I feel like it's the right tool for those creators. So,
Interesting.
yeah, that's how we see it at Corzent.
Right.
Culture is anyway human. It's anything that we are going to create, it's for the humans, so it should be made by humans. That's what I believe. It just, AI is playing a huge role on the capacity side of it. If we wanted, 2-3 people out of it. Now the reality is we need only one person, but just that particular one person is now equipped with many tools, the right tool as well, so that his or her creativity is what we are expecting.
Right.
So that is the thinking behind that. So I would still hire that person.
Right. I think that
Of course, it's a cost. It's an operating cost in terms of business. But I still believe, I'm an honest believer on craftsmanship. So it has to be human.
Yeah.
Maybe it's traditional as well. But
that's definitely something like I think I've kind of carried over from you to what we're doing now as well, because that is like very important, that human aspect as well. I mean, like just to kind of like, I'm also curious, like for you, right? Because you dabble in the witchcraft of AI. What's like the scariest thing that you've seen so far, like that kind of has you worried?
Probably the Chinese government. These open source models. There's some the Kiwi 3 has come out,
Yeah.
and it's as good as Fable, and in some cases even better.
Is it?
Yeah,
Interesting.
and it's open source.
that's
So
it.
Yeah, so that is now what is available to everyone else. But obviously, there's models that are not publicly available and are being trained and used for by governments and military operations in the US and elsewhere. So we might have AI overloads soon.
Okay.
So that's something that I'm worried about. But in terms of software engineering or devs, for me specifically, I have not manually written a lot of code recently, so it has sped everything up, but it has also made me more vigilant on what is being written.
Right.
Because you have to pay attention sometimes. Like I said, there's too much, low engineer, or it'll make something that's a bit too expensive, or it might not be as secure because of some quirk that has happened in even the way I prompt or whatever is there already in the code. It might follow a pattern that's not good. That might be exposing some sort of security vulnerability.
Right.
We had a case recently where unknowingly I had exposed one of my. This is personal project.
Okay.
But so please don't.
I was a bit afraid.
It's fine. But the what I had done is accidentally I had let Claude read one of my local files which had keys.
Okay.
Not committed, but for some reason it did read it. It didn't put it anywhere, but that's a bit concerning. So stuff like that, it could happen. It has happened. You can say that it hasn't happened to you, but it has.
It definitely.
It has.
It can read files, delete files, edit stuff. So you have to be careful about that. So
That's true.
So
And we might not know about it as well, no?
Yeah, we actually don't know like what. Even if we don't give read access or whatnot, like we don't know what's happening behind the hood, right? Like, imagine the amount of data they must have on everything that you do. Like, that's like I can't fathom that. It's like crazy to me.
some of these models were trained on stolen data also. So
Yeah, that's also a good point.
so yeah, we have. Yeah. All right, then I think that's all the time we have. Thank you for sharing your insights.
Thank
And
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you so much for having us.
This was an interesting conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see you next time on the third episode of the Dev Room. Thank you.